There are moments in war when you break the rule book, and in those moments, you're either a hero or you're a fool. Sometimes you're both. My name is Captain Frank Reaper Riley, and I was a Dustoff pilot. Vietnam, 1969. Dustoff was our call sign. Dedicated, unhesitating service to our fighting forces. As fancy as it sounds, we were just ambulance drivers. Only our ambulance was a Huey helicopter, and our hospital was in the middle of hell. Our rule book was simple. Rule 1. Leave no man behind. Rule 2. Don't be stupid. You see red smoke. You go in. You grab the wounded. You get out. But landing in a hot LZ, a landing zone that's still taking enemy fire, that was the grayest area in the book. We weren't fighters. We were retrievers. We had a pair of M60Cs, one on each side, run by my crew chiefs, and they were mostly for suppression fire, just to buy us those critical 10 seconds. Our real defense was speed, and maybe that big bold red cross painted on our belly. The irony of it being both a target and a protection was, like everything in Vietnam, a contradiction. It started in Texas. I loved to fly. I loved the sky, the freedom. The Army said, "We'll teach you," if I signed up. So I did. They made me a helicopter pilot, and they sent me to the one place where the sky had the least to do with freedom. Camp Holloway, Pleiku, South Vietnam. My crew, they were my family. My co-pilot, Warrant Officer Brooklyn, Russo. He was, as the name implies, from New York, had a mouth on him, but was the calmest man in the sky. My crew chief, Sergeant Pops Chen. This was his second tour. He was 30, which made him the old man of the group. And my gunner, Kid Johnson, a 19-year-old kid who could make that M60 sing. The four of us, in a tin can, floating over the jungle. The missions, they were a blur. Day, night, rain, sun, that static crackle over the radio. Dustoff 7-3, Dustoff 7-3, spin up for an urgent medevac. And we stood go. This one night, I'll never forget it. March 12th, 1969. It was the monsoon season. The rain was coming down so hard it felt like the sky was trying to drown the earth. Visibility was zero. Most birds were on the ground. Anybody smart was in a bunker. Not us. The call came in. Static. Panicked. All Dustoff units. This is Alpha Company. We're ambushed. God. They're everywhere. We're taking heavy casualties. We need everything. Then the line went dead. The ops center was frantic. Alpha Company. The Ghost Riders were a line infantry unit, and they were lost out in a sector called the Hook, where the map just stopped. My CO looked at me. "Riley, you can't even get a Jolly Green Giant in there. The weather's socked in, and NVA have been moving a regiment through that area." "Sir," I said, "that man on the radio, he said heavy casualties." My CO sighed. "The weather, the fire, it's suicide, Frank. They're our boys, Colonel. We have to try." 10 minutes later, we were in the air. "Reaper," Brooklyn said, his voice calm over the intercom. "You know this is batshit crazy, right?" "Just keep your eyes on the gauges, Brooklyn," I said. The rain was a hammer on the plexiglass. The wipers were useless. All I could see was the green glow of my instrument panel and the solid black void outside. We were flying low, treetop level. So low, Pops and Kid were pointing their M60 sets almost straight down, scanning the canopy for a grenade that might come up. "I got it. I see smoke," Brooklyn yelled. It wasn't smoke from an explosion. It was a signal smoke, red for us. "I'm going in," I said. "Reaper, hold on." Pop's voice was tense. "Check your 6. Look down. That's not an LZ. That's a target." I looked down, and I saw it. A small clearing in the jungle, maybe the size of a volleyball court, and it was alive with green tracers. Green, that meant NVA. In the middle of the clearing, a handful of Marines were pinned down behind a small berm of mud. They had popped the red smoke to guide us in, but it was a trap. The NVA were using them as bait, waiting for us to come. Reaper, Pops yelled. It's too hot. Way too hot. They'll chew us up before we even touch down. We gotta get out of here. The rule book was clear. You do not land in an LZ like this. You'd be trading a helicopter and a crew of 4 for men who were probably already dead. It was suicide. I started to pull back on the cyclic, to pull us up and away. I'm sorry, boys, I muttered. And then it came over the radio, my personal radio, a PRC-25, from a man on the ground. He was that close. It was a whisper. Static, broken, Dustoff, please. My name's Jimmy. It's just my leg. Please, sir. I want to go home. My mom, please don't leave me here. It stopped. Just static. My name is Frank, and a kid just said please. Brooklyn looked at me. His eyes were wide in the dash light. Frank? What are we doing? Pops was screaming from the back. CO, get us out. That's an order. Get us out. Kid Johnson was quiet. Whatever you say, boss. That whisper, please don't leave me here. I broke the rule book. Brooklyn, turn on the landing lights. What? Frank, that's turn on the lights, I roared. Pops, kid, you fire at everything that moves. Brooklyn, you get on the horn, you tell him we're coming in. We're knocking on hell's door. Brooklyn flipped the landing lights. In that black jungle, we lit up like a supernova, and the world exploded. The green tracers, which had been sporadic, all focused on us. I could hear the ping 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 of rounds hitting the fuselage. It sounded like we were in a giant hailstorm. Light EM up, I screamed. Pops and Kid opened up, their M60 blazing, raking the tree line, barrels glowing red hot. If you're finding meaning in this story, in that one moment of an impossible choice, please consider subscribing to the channel. The stories of these men only live on if we tell them. I'm going in. I dropped the collective and let the helicopter fall into that pit of mud. The skids sank. The bird just sat there, a sitting duck in the middle of a shooting gallery. In. Go, 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 I screamed. While my gunners kept firing, 2 figures rose from the ground, both wounded. They were dragging a third man between them. Jimmy, the voice, his leg, I had thought. It wasn't just his leg. He was shredded. They threw him in, literally, just tossed him onto the floor of the Huey. Is that it? I yelled. Where are the others? One of the men, coughing up blood, yelled. Where it? Pilot. The rest are gone. Get us out of here. Pingy! The plexiglass, in front of my face, it starred. A bullet had cracked it, right next to Brooklyn's head. Frank, we are leaving, he screamed. Hang on. I pulled the collective. The engine screamed, fighting the mud, fighting gravity. The Huey shuddered. Slowly, agonizingly slowly. We rose. The bullets were still coming. Pops, Kid, suppress. The M60 roared again. We cleared the treetops. And then, silence. We were out of the fire. We were in the air. A voice came from the back. Pops, Kid, oh God. Kid's hit. I turned. Brooklyn turned. Kid Johnson, the 19-year-old, was slumped over his M60. His hand was on his chest, and from under his hand, there was too much blood. Brooklyn, you have the controls, I said, handing them over. I unstrapped myself and scrambled into the back. The cabin was awash in blood. The 3 wounded grunts and my gunner. Kid, I yelled. Talk to me. He opened his eyes. He looked at me. He smiled. We get him, boss? He whispered. We got him, son, I said, ripping open a battle dressing. We got him, you just hang on. His eyes, they lost focus. Pops, Brooklyn, the good flight, Reaper. And he was gone, 19 years old. Pops was crying. The round, it came through the floor. It came up, and it got him. Brooklyn was on the radio, his voice shaking. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Dustoff 7-3. We have a crew member down. I repeat, crew member down. Requesting immediate divert to the nearest surgical. When we landed at the hospital, It was a movie set. Doctors, nurses, they took the grunts. Jimmy, he was alive. Faint pulse, but alive. The other two as well. Then, they took Kid's body. I stood there by my helicopter. I was covered in Kid's blood. The fuselage, it was pocked like a golf ball. We counted over 100 holes later. My colonel was there, his face, it was a thundercloud. He walked up to me. "Captain Riley," he said. His voice was so quiet I had to lean in. "You disobeyed a direct order." "Yes, sir, you broke the rulebook." "Yes, sir, you lost a crew member." I closed my eyes. "Yes, sir." "And you saved the lives of 3 men." I opened my eyes. He was looking at me. "That aircraft is a total loss. You should not have landed." "Sir." He held up his hand. "In your after-action report, you will state that you were forced to make an emergency landing due to engine trouble. Do you understand me?" "But sir." "Do you understand me, Captain?" I swallowed. "Yes, sir, I understand." They gave me a new helicopter the next day, and a new 19-year-old scared-looking gunner to replace Kid Johnson, and we kept flying. They gave me a medal for that night, the Distinguished Flying Cross. But I wasn't a hero. I made a choice. I traded the life of my own man for the lives of 3 others. I traded the rulebook for a kid's whisper. The war ended. I came home, back to Texas. I stopped flying. I locked that medal in a drawer. For years, I'd wake up to that whisper, "Please don't leave me here." And then, I'd see kids smile. "There's a good flight, Reaper." Last year, I was at a VVA, Vietnam Veterans of America, convention in Houston. Old men, telling old war stories. A man walked up to me. He was limping, using a cane. "Captain Riley?" he said. I looked at him. "Not a captain anymore." I said, "Just Frank." He smiled. "My name's Jimmy. Jimmy Ghost Rider Evans." My eyes, they filled up. I hugged him. "For that night," he whispered. "For hearing me. I never got to thank you." "Son," I said, my voice shaking, "the price for that night, you weren't the one who paid it." So, that's it. Am I a hero, or am I a fool? I don't know. All I know is that one night, in the dark and the rain, I broke the rulebook. And I am still living with the shadow of that choice.